Greetings everyone. Today I will be demonstrating a directory data class search for files, so we are able to classify and categorize our PII inside our files and then perform a masking operation on it later if we so wish to. Below here I have some data classes that were created by default with my data class rules library. I'm going to add to this full name data class a data matcher. I'll do a set file lookup, and I will be also matching on this set file name last column first, and as you see, I now have two set files data matchers in my full name data class. And if you look here, this first data matcher will be matching on names first and last, while the second data matcher will be matching on last and first. And I have a directory here of some different file types inside. If you see here, I have a chiefs.json file with last names, comma, first. And that's why I added that data matcher to match on last names first versus first name last. So I'll go ahead and do my directory data class search setup. Okay, so here we have the option of naming our subfolder and indicating whether we want to include a graphical report in HTML format. So click Next. Here's some extra options here if you want to perform a scan in a drive connected from your LAN. If you wanted to treat your XLS data with like it has vertical headers. In this case, I'll just read from my own, and I will go to Space Trainer, Directory Search. So I'm going to be just reading this directory right here with my 4 files inside it. Here we can choose to exclude some files if we want by adding some patterns that would exclude based on the file name. So here I have my list of active data classes that I'll be using for classification. I can choose to deactivate these if I wish, but I'll just leave them alone for this demonstration. We also have some options to set the matching threshold, higher or lower than 90% if we wish. The default is 90, so as long as it reaches that 90% threshold, it's considered a match for that column, and then the data class and masking rule will be applied to that column in a file. We have some other options. We could just scan the first n number of records specified here. By default, it's 4,096 records. Instead, you could scan 4K blocks until the match threshold is reached, or you run out of data to match against. Or you could just not look at the data and just match on the column names itself. Depending on how many files you have and your certainty of the naming conventions for column names, maybe it's just scanning on the headers instead of looking at the data, maybe faster. But I'll just be doing the default to scan the first 4K block on a 90% matching threshold. So I'll click Finish here and begin the process. So a data class map was created here, and it has the mappings of what was found. So for this XLSX file, we have some matches for these data classes on a first name data class, last name data class, a date data class, credit card, email, and if you notice, the associated rules with these data classes got applied to these fields. For my JSON field, you'll see that this chiefs.json file, the full name data class found a matching on the data itself 100%, and thus the format preserving encryption rule was paired to this field. This is another file here, an XML file, fairly flat, I believe. Yes. And it's the same as the JSON file. It has some names in here. Last, first, I believe this is the presidents of the US. And then here we have another file, CSV, matching on first name, last name, the purchase date, credit card, email. And here we have some options, being able to select the columns. We can use the filter to, in the case of if there's many fields in a file, this would probably be more useful, but to hone in on a particular field of interest. Besides what was assigned via classification during the directory search, you can also apply rules to a field here, or you could apply a data class with the associated rule here, and therefore you got format preserving encryption in this case assigned to these two fields as user assignments. From a data class map library, you can then perform your masking operations if you so wish. In a next video I'll cover this, but you'd be going into your wizard for the new data class map file masking job using this newly created data class map to generate the field shield job that would then mask your data. So that about covers it for this demo, and in later ones we'll talk about using this data class map to perform a field shield operation. Look forward to talking to you guys again.